Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. I want to get to Mr. Scottie Pippen himself, the Chicago Bulls legend who won 6 championships with Michael Jordan. That Scottie Pippen. Well, he's had a lot to say about his former teammate recently, and it hasn't been that flattering. Take a listen.
It's not even worth talking about.
The two of them.
When you ask who's better, LeBron or Michael, you can't ask me who's the GOAT between LeBron and Michael. Neither one of them are GOATs. They both won differently. You can't put them at the top of the pinnacle. Magic Johnson, to me, is a bigger GOAT than anybody because of how he led, how he brought a whole team, how when the greatest scorer in the game, Kareem, was not there, and him as a rookie
center
steps in and plays a position that no one even knew he could play. That's transcending what you can do as a player.
I'm trying to be nice. I really, really am. But what Scottie Pippen just said was some straight bullshit, especially coming out of his mouth. Before I get into it, however, that soundbite that y'all just saw, courtesy of Patrick Bet David's podcast, the PBD podcast, which I've been on as a guest. He had Scottie Pippen on as a guest, did a great job interviewing him, by the way. That soundbite raised a few eyebrows. And now other NBA players are coming to Michael Jordan's defense. Most recently was Carmelo Anthony on his podcast, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, this past Friday. Check out what Carmelo Anthony had to say.
Now, you can't do this every time, though, Scottie, my nigga. Like, you done been in the bunker with MJ. You done been in the trenches with this guy. You signed up for the Breakfast Club for 6 years. Like, you was part of that. Don't take that away from the guard now after all of these years where you, whatever feelings you feel about him, like, that is who it is. That's MJ. Like, you know what time it is with that. As far as LeBron goes, leave that man the alone. Like, leave that alone, Scottie. Like, pay homage to Magic, but leave them alone. Is the ghost of our league, man. Those are the three. So whatever issues you have with Bron, like, leave that shit alone, Scottie. Like, Bron ain't even thinking about you. Like, nobody even, like, matter of fact, Bron, this is a situation where Bron need to see Scottie. Because enough is enough.
Like, square up at this point.
Not even square up, but we got, now you talk about man conversations. Me and you got to have a real conversation. Like, what the is going on? You can't keep MJ the GOAT this day and LeBron is the GOAT better than MJ this day. Oh, 6 years later, you know what? Both of them.
Yeah.
Magic is the GOAT. Magic been the GOAT.
See, that's why Melo's my man, because Melo's a real one and he's honest. Scottie, it's not that he's dishonest, it's that he's bitter. Now, let me be very, very clear. I go off the reservation, per se, when you say you hating on somebody just because you don't believe they're the GOAT. Scottie Pippen's opinion, he's a 6-time champion. He's one of the greatest players in NBA history. He's a top 75 player of all time, one of the elite defensive players the game of basketball has ever seen. You can never take that away from him, okay? But the issue with Scottie Pippen and his opinion is that it has waffled, it has wavered, and Melo was absolutely right to point that shit out. The fact of the matter is, when you look at Scottie Pippen, years ago, MJ was the GOAT. He's on national TV. On NBA Today, if I remember correctly. On ESPN, sitting up there talking about LeBron is great, but he wasn't MJ. Then you get pissed off at MJ, but LeBron is the GOAT now. Now it ain't even LeBron, it's Magic. Magic's a 5-time champion. Universally recognized as the greatest point guard in the history of basketball. And was a winner. Got to 9 NBA finals that dominated the 80s. And he was Showtime, and he was a facilitator, and he was all of that. That's fine. Even Magic and Bird said, Michael Jordan told them to their face, there's a new sheriff in town. We all know what time it is. And what makes it so sacrilegious, which is what Melo pointed out, that's the cat you in the bunker with. See, we're not talking about the real when it comes to Scottie Pippen and all of this stuff. We're not talking about the real. You won 6 championships with them. Remember he retired after the first three-peat? Remember how you couldn't get it done as a member of the Chicago Bulls, courtesy, in part, of the Hugh Hollins call against you on the Hubert Davis jump shot at Madison Square Garden. I get that part, but you still didn't get it done. And then the very next year, Michael Jordan comes back. Y'all get bounced out in the second round to the Orlando Magic with Nick Anderson and those boys. But prior to that, you were kicking up your sneaker, showing the Jordan emblem on the bottom, begging them to come back. What you asking back for then? It was your team. Same team, by the way, that you got pissed at and deserted because Phil Jackson called the final shot for Tony Kukoc. Remember that? You talking about Jordan this way. Now you throwing LeBron and you saying, don't none of them matter but Magic. Could it be that you bringing up Magic because Magic was a facilitator and you thought yourself as a facilitator? You weren't a facilitator. Even though you played point forward, you wasn't driving in the lane and dishing it out like Magic did. You were help running the triangle and you were an elite defender. But you wanted to quintessential, prototypical point guard that Magic Johnson was. So you didn't mirror his game either. Who's it going to be next, Scottie? And why is it going to be somebody else? Could it be because you're bitter? Could it be because of the last dance and you still salty about that? Could it be because when it was time for you to get paid, even though Michael Jordan had advised you not to take the money because it was a bad contract, you didn't listen to him and then ended up being bitter and trying to hold out and all of this other stuff? Could it be because when Michael Jordan retired and you went and you took your talents to Portland that you couldn't close the deal and Shaq and Kobe put you up out of there in the Game 7? All of that happened. But you talking. Damn, I appreciate Carmelo Anthony calling it out like that. He didn't get as specific as I did, but the specifics that I threw out there is exactly what Carmelo was talking about. LeBron don't need to step to him. Like, what's this? All he's saying is that neither one of them is the GOAT to me, but LeBron's the GOAT of this generation. He just ain't the GOAT over MJ. It is what it is. My nephew Josh wanted to be in on this segment too, because you had a lot to say about it off the air. So go ahead and tell the audience what you have to say about it now.
Well, I'm on Scottie's side in a way.
What?
You heard me. And the reason why is because I got two questions for you, because you keep bringing up what happened when Michael Jordan retired. If Scottie Pippen retired at that same time and Michael Jordan was playing with Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc and them, would they have won the championship?
Wrong question. The right question is two parts. Number one, would Michael Jordan have quit on his team and refused to re-enter a game because Phil Jackson called the final shot for somebody else? Then answer that question.
Would Phil Jackson call the shot for somebody else when Michael Jordan was on the team?
Exactly. That's my point. No, he wouldn't have. Yeah. He would have let Jordan decide it. You know why? Because Jordan was a better offensive player than Scottie Pippen was. So Jordan would have been in a position to make a better decision. That's how John Paxson hit a game-winning shot to win a championship. That's how Steve Kerr hit a game-winning shot to win a championship. What Scottie would do naturally, Jordan would draw attention and create an opportunity for somebody else because his greatness offensively was so supreme that you expected him to take the last shot so he could defer to somebody else and make sure they had a wide-open shot. Nobody was keying on Scottie Pippen like that because Scottie Pippen didn't have that kind of offensive repertoire. So that's number one.
When Jordan was gone and it was Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc, you're going to choose Tony Kukoc to take the last shot?
The last shot, yes. You're not saying that Scottie Pippen wasn't a better all-around player, but Tony Kukoc was a better shooter.
That's it, just shooter.
Yeah,
I'm a better offensive player.
But a last shot is a last shot. And so if they're keying on you, Tony Kukoc is a guy that you trust to make the shot. Scottie Pippen can make a play. Tony Kukoc can make a shot. Don't act like you know basketball like your
I'm not calling the play for Tony Kukoc. I'd have been offended too if I'm Scottie Pippen. You're not doing that to Jordan.
Would you have refused to re-enter the game?
Is it my team or not?
Would you have refused?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Then shut the hell up.
I wouldn't
Stop arguing with me about this.
That's not the point. You didn't answer the question.
That is the point.
You didn't answer the question. Ask the question.
What's the question, Josh?
Would they have won if Scottie Pippen retired?
Under the same conditions, listen to me good. If the Bulls were in the same position that Scottie Pippen was in, remember, they win that series against the Knicks, they probably end up going to the finals, and then they would have played Houston. Do I believe that the Chicago Bulls could have beat the Houston Rockets? Yes. Now, again, I'm telling you, they're not a lesser version of themselves if Jordan is there instead of Pippen. That's my point to you. Whether they win or lose, they're not a lesser version. The Chicago Bulls are not a lesser version with Jordan than they were with Pippen. That ain't happening. Nobody would disagree with me on that one. That would not happen.
Michael Jordan on the Bulls in the playoffs, record is worse than Scottie Pippen's Bulls on the records without Jordan.
Excuse me. Scottie Pippen only had a couple of playoff series without Jordan.
How many
That's
Jordan
it.
had?
That Jordan and Scottie Pippen played for since the 80s with each other.
but
so
Jordan-
the 6 championships, hold on, wait. They played like 8, 9 years together.
Right.
Scottie Pippen played 1 year without Jordan. So you can't compare the numbers. Stop. Let's move on to something because you sound
Yeah,
ignorant,
right,
okay?
right.
You sound ignorant, all right? That's number one. What was the other part that you was going to say about Scottie Pippen? You don't even remember.
Because you threw me,
ain't making no damn
you let me
sense.
get my points though. I can't. Ain't this my segment?
Go ahead, man. Anything else you want to say about Scottie Pippen? Because you sound
Yeah,
ignorant.
yeah, I do. I feel like between me and you're the Michael Jordan of our situation. It's cool to be Scottie Pippen sometimes. So I got this merch, and it's featuring me and you on it. Well, check it out. That's me, cause that was me holding. That's when Michael Jordan, had the flu or whatever. Stephen A gets sick sometime, and I ended up carrying him. So I ended up putting that on the shirt. So I got one for you. Extra large?
Goodbye, America. I see y'all. I see y'all. That's it for the show.